It's a big day here in Chicago. The NFL draft is in town. Here to talk about the tough side of the business is Louis Salgado. He's a consultant to professional athletes as well as an insurance guy for these big-time athletes. And wonderful to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So a lot of money is going to come out tonight with these athletes coming into the fame of becoming an NFL player. So what do you see? What's the tough side of the business that you see?
In my opinion, the tough side is convincing these young men that now that overnight they become multimillionaires, that they haven't become Einstein. Meaning, you know, there's a plan out here to help you succeed. Unfortunately, a lot of these young men don't follow it. You know, the cars, the homes, they think, again, I call it we hit the lottery syndrome. You know, unfortunately, the parents play a major role in it as well.
They do?
Yeah.
What do you see?
You see parents' eyes light up. Wow, my kid just signed a $40 million deal. I know I'm getting a house. I know I'm getting a Benz. I know I'm getting this. And when the kids don't say no, that's where the problems start.
And they wind up in big debt.
Big debt, big debt. They start off, as scary as it sounds, in debt. As you see them walk across the stage tonight, just remember one thing. Everyone's got a personal tailor, jeweler on that stage tonight. They're going in about anywhere from $30,000 to $100,000 into their new job. They haven't even started yet. They haven't collected a penny, but they're $100,000 in debt. Could you imagine starting your career like that?
I would not want to start my career like that. So what is your advice? How do you advise these young men?
You know, I call it the New York approach. It's very, very direct. There's no candy coating. If you follow these simple guidelines, this simple advice, you will succeed. If you deviate from the plan, and if you deviate immensely from the plan, you'll be another one that they write about in Sports Illustrated. How you made $100 million, how you made $100 million and you have zero.
So what is that advice?
You know, one car. What I tell my players is, in your city that you just got drafted to, you can go rent an unbelievable high-end penthouse and not own a $10 million, $15 million home that when you're done playing, to maintain that property is $100,000, $200,000 a year, but you may not be making that money in the future.
Well, and another thing is these athletes sometimes end up bouncing from team to team.
Exactly.
So I can see your point. If you paid too much for a house, now you have to try to sell it and you might have to take a loss on the house because you've plunked all this money down.
Or the other side of that, and you are 100% correct, is a lot of these young men buy their first home, then they get their next contract in the same city and go and buy a second home, bigger, more expensive, and they don't take the time to even sell the first one. And I have a young man who's dealing with that situation now, that he's paying 2 mortgages, but him and his wife live in one house. It's an unfortunate thing, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. And it's sad because, again, that's how they end up in a bad position.
But are there people who try to poach off of these young guys and become bad financial advisors? Because we have seen some cases of that happen. Yeah.
Well, it's really more along the lines of their friends and inner circle. The advisors play a role, and, you know, when a lot of advisors are yes men, and there are a lot of them out here, that's when these young men end up in big, big problems because people. You know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to tell a kid who just got paid $50 million, you know what? You can't do that. You can't do that. You have to do it, but a lot of guys don't do it. It's a major problem out here.
But there are some who do. So let's leave on a positive note because there are some athletes who have shown us that they can stay at their normal standard of living, play ball. They are going to retire very nicely.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about. And that's what we stress. That's what I stress is you're living an unbelievable life now, but you're in your 20s. If you're lucky, you'll live to 90 to 100. We got to make sure that all this money you're making in your 20s gets you there. Because if we don't, it's not going to be great going from the mansion to a dump because the wrong decisions were made.
Great advice for anybody. Thanks again for your time today.
Thank you
Enjoy
very
the draft.
much. Thank you.